This is Courtney.
And this is Kelsie.
And we're
Pen Pals.
And we're back. What'd you guys think of the new intro sound? Kelsie, what'd you think?
I think we sound really official now. And we're in episode 2, which is a big deal. The last time we left everybody, we were asking what you all wanted to hear from us. And we got the most requests about a show that we used to work on years ago when we met. So Courtney, you want to tell what it was?
Yeah, so we talked about it in our first episode a little bit, but we figured it'd be fun to expand on it since we got so many questions, mostly from my mom, but our many listeners maybe. But anyway, so jumping right into it, our main question that we got was, tell us more about our time on PSU Matchmaker working together and how we won our College Television Award, aka our College Emmy. So yeah, we have so many fun stories from working on Matchmaker and going to the Emmys. It's basically the Emmys. It's by the same foundation, but we'll go into that and stuff. Just was a super, super crazy, awesome experience. So yeah, we wanted to use this episode for you guys to learn more about us. And we thought the best way and the way how we became best friends was through doing this show together. So we thought we'd dive on into it more.
I think we should start kind of at the beginning. So yeah. You had actually appeared on this campus TV show. It was more of a web series. But we basically would set people up on dates. So it was supposed to be like Millionaire Matchmaker, like The Bachelor on campus, which I think got us a lot of attention because people were like, what is happening? But Courtney, you appeared on it, and then who knew we'd be in charge of it a couple months later and tracking down, you were amazing at tracking down people to put on dates and find, you seriously were. I would get so stressed out about it. We planned everything. We had to find locations. We had to find people who actually wanted to do it. I remember handing out flyers with my email on them for people to reach out to me. We had our own, PR people for the show, which was really cool and legit.
We tried to make as much of sorry to cut you off, as much as a real show as possible. Almost I'm doing now my producing job, finding locations. There's people that find people, it's pretty legit. So it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun.
And it gave us, I think, a lot of experience because as producers, we oversaw everything. I mean, planning it to actually going and shooting it, which we'll talk about next, and the editing process and releasing it and sharing it and trying to get people to watch it and then having fans, which we can also touch on. But I wanted to talk about the first episode because I remember we talked about it for hours, tried to figure out how we were going to structure it. And I was so excited, at least. And I remember we showed up, we were doing a picnic outside. We had all these people. I didn't know anybody that was going to show up because we had this brand new crew. I knew a couple of our friends, you and me, a couple of friends came to help out as well. But I remember being so excited when we got there and it started pouring down rain. Do you remember that day? It was storming. I was like, do we call this off? Do we do it? Do we not do it? Do we not? I remember we did call it off that day. We came back on a sunny day, didn't we?
Yeah, because we filmed outside, I think.
We did, yeah. And I was like, well, we got all these people all the way out here. This isn't a tiny campus to walk all the way here, take the bus here. So I decided, I remember mentioning that we should go to this popular diner downtown called Babies. I think it's still there, right?
Yeah, it should be.
I hope so.
You're there, check it out. It's a fun time.
It is. It's a 1950s-ish diner. There's jukeboxes and we have milkshakes. I remember going there all the time, but I was like, you know what? We should go get to know these people. They came all the way out here and were interested in the show. So I remember I had a brand new car. It was my graduation gift. I don't know if you remember this, from my parents.
Now I'm starting to remember this story.
And I was like, okay, I'll give a ride to everybody. But we had like, I think 8 people or something. And I had a tiny car. And I remember everybody got in and we drove downtown. It wasn't too far, but I was trying to parallel park.
Yeah.
And I hit the car behind me in front of all these people I don't know in my car. And I just remember getting silent and I was so embarrassed. It's like, they're never going to come back. They don't want to hang out with us again or work on this again. But luckily there was like no damage. Everybody was fine. It was just like a little tap. But I'll never forget that day because I think that was everyone's first impression of me. Like kind of a, I don't know.
No, they still love you.
I swear I'm more on top of it. Thank you. That was so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that. And you were actually a part of this episode as well.
Yeah. So I was a part of 2 episodes, sad to say. So basically, like how it worked was we just like asked our friends, anybody who was willing to be on the episode, and like our typical episodes ended up more so being 1 main bachelor and then 3 bachelorettes, and then they would go on mini dates. We would do vice versa sometimes if we could. It ended up being more girls interested, so we usually have 1 main guy as the bachelor. So for our very, very first trailer episode, I ended up being on that with, it ended up being a Penn State football player, and it was pretty crazy. He was, I forget his name, but he was very nice, and so we did not have anything in common, and you could kind of see the awkwardness on camera. I remember someone did a voiceover of me and this guy on the date, and they were like, whoa, look at the distance between them. But that's okay, it was funny. And then the next one, when we like took it all over, we couldn't find or someone dropped out last minute and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. And it was my friend who was the main bachelor, so I like pretended like I didn't know him, and I went on the so yeah, for actual bachelor bachelorette fans and stuff, yeah, even our college program wasn't super real, I guess, but it just, but it was real, and it was fun. But you know, you have to do what you have to do. The show must go on. So that was very funny. And then along the same note, I was just like running out of friends to be on the show at some points. And so yeah, I was like going through my like phone. I was like, who do I know? And it was like, I think this was like my sophomore year, and I was like, sad to say, I was like going to a lot of frat parties my freshman year, and I like had like this like number of this like frat guy in my phone, and I was like, hey, like, will you please be on our show? And he was like, I can't do it, but I have a friend who will. He's like totally interested. I'm like, oh my god, great. And so we had him be our main bachelor, so we filmed the whole show. We have him go on 3 mini dates as we usually do, and then at the end of each episode we would have them pick like, who do you want to go on like another date with. And we didn't really film a follow-up date, that would be fun, but we just had them reveal, you know, have a fun reveal at the end. And he ended up revealing this guy that my frat guy friend had given to us. He ended up revealing that he had a girlfriend. So we ended up scrapping that whole episode because we wanted it to be legit. We didn't want this guy to have a girlfriend and be on there. That wasn't the look we were going for. But yeah, we have a lot of, those are some of the interesting stories of what we did to get people on the show at first.
I won't forget that day too, because I'm pretty sure that was the same day that we had 2 girls come up to us and say, oh my gosh, are you a PSU matchmaker? And we were like, yeah. And they're like, we've seen all your episodes, and we're like, we were just waiting for the next one to come out. And we were like, what? Like, you're waiting, you want to watch us? It was like, I remember being like, oh my gosh, this is so flattering, because I'm like, nobody knows about us. It was cool though, because we did get a bit of coverage like locally on it, which was like a pretty good deal. Yeah, pretty sweet deal. But I think that we got some really good coverage and we got some really bad coverage that was like, kind of making jabs at us, but I think that was part of, looking back, I mean, like that was part of the fun of it too. We were, I don't want to say controversial, but I think we took a lot more risks. We put people in a hot tub where it was
Yeah.
snowing. I'll never forget that day.
That was the
We had
best episode.
picnics. That was like, yeah, the best one. We had those picnics.
Mm.
We were filming in the dark outside, doing all these crazy things. Oh, there was one where we went to this cabin and there was a nice little fire for them to enjoy together. We did some really fun stuff and I will never forget that experience. I mean, got a little stressful sometimes because we had people drop out all the time, but hey,
Yeah,
the show must go on. That
exactly.
it has to, and it always will. And
Yeah.
it started like the incredible adventure of us to LA too,
Yeah.
because I remember hearing about this competition and it was from the Television Academy Foundation, like college awards. And I was like, I don't know why. I was like, oh, I'll submit us, because I don't ever think that I thought like, oh yeah, we're gonna do. I just remember doing it for fun. I was like, sure, here's some episodes, because I think we just had to send them an episode. Check it out. I forgot about it and I never expected to hear anything.
Yeah. So I remember you saying that, like, okay, we could submit for this award, and you're pretty positive about it and stuff, but like we were not sure at all, but we were like, okay, cool. But you were in LA for like an internship that you were having in Hollywood. And then I'm like 2 years younger than you. So I was still at Penn State, and um like just in my sophomore year and stuff, and not doing internships yet. And so I was like, oh, I want to like go out there and stuff, but like I don't have like time. And then you're like, well, if we win, then like you'll be out there, and that's
Have
what ended up
to.
happening.
I know. And it was crazy when we found out we were in the top 3. So I guess to explain this award, you submit yourself just like people do to the actual Emmys. And then we just found out we were in the top 3. They flew everybody out for this award ceremony. We didn't know where we would place in the top 3, but it was a really cool experience. We were set up in a hotel. They had a red carpet. Like it was legit. There were a lot of really cool celebrities there we got to talk to that were super encouraging and just so lovely. I remember.
Do you remember which celebrities were there and stuff?
Yes, there were quite a quite a few cool ones. I don't even know where to start. I remember seeing Maria Canals Barrera, the mom on Wizards of Waverly Place.
That's right. That's what I was gonna mention.
I remember we got a picture with her and she's like, oh, you guys are so great. And I was like, I grew up like watching you on TV as like this motherly figure. So to have you talking to us and telling us this was so cool. Justin Baldoni from Jane the Virgin, which I love. He was there as well. And I remember thinking that was so cool. There were tons of actors who were presenting awards and stuff. Like it was a really cool experience to be there. And gotta bring guests. I brought my parents.
Yeah.
You had your mom and your aunt. Like it was just really cool. We got to sightsee while you were there. They had beforehand, they had like little, not classes for us, but they had these.
They had a networking event, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like people in the industry and stuff were there. And so that was fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I loved how like, I don't know, I just like one of my favorite things about it was how it brought like other students from other colleges, like doing like totally different things, but like they were all like so passionate about their subject. So it was just so fun, like meeting them and getting to learn like what they were passionate about, like how they were going about making their film or their TV show or their travel series. And just it was just really fun to be like in a group of like such like creative, talented people. Like I don't know like if I've ever experienced that after that.
It was super cool. I mean, I thought I loved college, but I loved it because I got to learn about what I wanted to. I got to meet people who were actually interested in what I wanted to be interested in. And I think even beyond that, like having that sort of introduction to this business was really cool because that's one of my favorite things is meeting people that are so passionate about what they're doing, and they're like I've met some of the most creative people in this type of work too, and to, I don't know, just be able to pick their brains and see what they get excited about. I grew up in Iowa, which I love going back there, but people weren't interested in the same things I were. They weren't interested in like television and film, like those kinds of things don't exist there. We didn't have like film clubs growing up. I would just make these home movies and like just want to do something bigger. That's kind of how I grew up. So it was exciting to, I think, just be able, I feel like everything was thrown at us at once. Like we dove into the deep end and got to experience it. And I mean, obviously it's gone on from there. We both work in this industry, and I think that was great experience to
most definitely. I feel like our like matchmaker experience was like super real world experience, like even like busier than some of like the internships I had like after. Like it was super real world experience, super like, I don't know, it just taught me so much of like how to handle stress, how to like find locations, how to make things interesting, how to book people, like stuff that like goes into a TV show. Like I don't think I could ever get such a more like real experience like that. So it's so cool that we had that. And then like growing up, I think we might go into this in our next episode. Let us know if you're interested in stuff. But about talking about how we got into our careers and stuff. And I did not know I wanted to be in the TV industry. Like I just knew that I liked watching TV. And then I took a TV production class in high school, and I really liked it there too. So it was like coupled with like my TV production class my senior year of high school, and I was like, yep, I like watching TV. This is what I'm gonna do. And so I wasn't super passionate about it going into Penn State, but then once I started at Penn State and we did our productions together, and it was just like the sky's the limit, like it was just off to the races from there. So
yeah, and I started out, I was like a film major. I was a transfer student. So I was doing that, and then I wanted to learn more about TV shows and how they structured them and organized them. And I changed to broadcast journalism. That's how I got into doing that. And I took a lot of film classes for like electives and that type of thing. So I was kind of like excited just about everything entertainment. And I feel like I also went into college I feel like you go in wanting to do like one aspect of it, but then at least for me personally, I didn't realize how many jobs there were in this business. Like how many very specific things you can do that are creative. Like obviously you have like a director, you have producers, you have like on camera people, like all writers, all kinds of things with their like very specific, I don't know, there were just so many. I feel like I was just like, okay, I don't know what to do. And then I wanted to like produce, and I did that professionally for a while as well, and kind of like moved. I just wanted to be creative, and I think that's what that show had the opportunity, like gave us the opportunity to do, was look at an entire project, have complete control from start to finish, and be able to show exactly what we wanted. And I mean, that's what I aspire to do ever since and every day. So
yeah,
it was such a great experience.
That's kind of, we've taken our experience working on Matchmaker, working together, being able to do whatever we wanted into making this podcast. Like we were like,
exactly.
We were like living our lives, and we're like, you know what? We want to do something creative together again. We want to be able to do whatever we want, build it from scratch, like how we did before, and just make it whatever we want without any rules. That's what we did before, and we were pretty successful doing that. Not that it's about being successful. We just want to give our, get our creative juices going again.
Exactly. And for everyone listening, we got third place.
Yeah.
But it was still just as exciting, and we still got trophies. And
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Exactly. We still got to fly out there, walk the red carpet, have the whole experience, and get the trophy. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool as like, I think a little glimpse into like where to go from there.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. And speaking of TV, we want to talk every episode about what we're watching this week when it comes to TV and movies. So what have you been seeing lately?
Yeah. So I surprisingly, I guess this is like surprising for me because I'm usually not into this sort of genre, but I have been binge watched the Arcane series on Netflix. Have you heard of it?
Oh, wait, what is that about?
Yeah, so it's about League of Legends and like the video game, and it goes into like League of Legends has, I've never played it. I've only watched it because my boyfriend is obsessed with League of Legends and stuff, and then I watched it with him. But I really really liked it. It was really cool. Like I still haven't played League of Legends, but how he explained it to me is like there's all these different worlds and like characters you could play on, and it like chose like basically two different like worlds that like interacted to like focus on each other. And like I was just surprised by how like strong of like female characters they had. It was like super like motivating and like almost like not girl powery, I don't like that word, but I don't know, it was cool. It was almost like a female superhero movie. I really liked it. It's
Oh,
really cool.
that's cool. No, I'll
Yeah.
have to check that out. Yeah, I'm surprised that you watched something like that just because it seems so unlike you. So that would surprise me. But I'm gonna have to look into it if you liked it.
Yeah, I guess it's like in the anime genre because it's like a cartoon
Sure.
and stuff. But maybe I'll get more into that. Who knows? Maybe I'll talk about that next time.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna have to watch this.
Yeah.
I
But then-
speaking of like that type of thing, I've obviously been watching Riverdale, comic books, all that kind of stuff. No, I love that show, and they did like a big twist on it, and they released the first couple episodes of this season that I just finished this week, and the show's gotten kind of crazy like over the course of, what are we at, like starting on season 6, and it's gotten darker and taken all these twists and turns, and I'm really into that.
Yeah.
But another TV show that I have been really obsessed with right now is The Shrink Next Door. It's
Oh,
Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd. Have you heard of that?
maybe, but I don't know what it's about.
So I guess I didn't know this. It's based on a true story about this guy who is going to see like a psychiatrist, and I don't even know how much I can say, but it kind of like keeps escalating and escalating in a very unexpected way. It's a little eerie how it plays out. It's not scary or anything, but sorry, what?
Is it funny with Will Ferrell in it?
It's more serious, I
Oh,
think.
interesting.
I know. I was kind of expecting, I mean, there's a little bit of comic relief, but I wouldn't say it's funny at all. Like it's kind of not, I mean, it's a sad story, not like you're gonna cry and cry, but it's a crazy story about something that actually happened to this guy once he started seeing a psychiatrist. And
Wow.
I've been watching that a lot. And then my last one that I had to bring up was Love Hard on Netflix, the Christmas
Oh,
movie.
yes, of course.
Oh my gosh, I was laughing so much with that movie, and I thought it was so good.
I know.
I wanted to watch
watched
something
one of the whole
fun.
movie. I
Yeah.
loved it. It was so funny.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was great. Like, oh, this will be a fun Christmas movie, but I was just like, oh, this was like I just thought it was so much fun. So ended on a happy note for the holidays.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one to check out. I think it's so funny because it's like I feel like these like there's like a theme of like Christmas movies where it's like the working woman goes home for the holidays and the hometown man teaches her how to love and like whatever, something like that. But I liked how this one was like a modern love story. Like she got catfished on a dating app and just
Wow.
like went from there. Like we're on the dating apps now these days. So it's like it's not just meeting at the grocery store, although it could be. But yeah, so I just thought it was so funny how it was like a modern love story in that kind of way. So
No, it was
definitely check
super fun. It was super fun. I genuinely laughed out loud so much watching it. I thought it was great.
yeah.
Now I'm excited for the holidays and I'm excited to watch more. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so I hope you guys have a great holiday season, a great New Year's, and we'll be back after that. So make sure to go to our Instagram page. It's at Pen Pals Podcast. And we're going to post more updates on there, start posting more frequently on there, and we will be back shortly after the New Year's. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for our Instagram for updates, and we'll see you all soon.
see you soon.
Bye.